The Traitors is a social strategy competition that sees lies told by those assigned the traitor role, but they're not the only ones that spin a tale or two. In a game where lying is a major component, players shouldn't be surprised if someone tells a small lie here or there, especially if they say they are a faithful but are really a traitor. In this video, I'm going to take a look at different ways players have lied outside of their status in the game and why one of them might have taken their lie too far. There are some spoilers in this video, which includes a few international versions, but I've tried to keep the spoilers at a minimum. Most of the video is about their lies, but I have mentioned if this has had a detrimental effect to their game with a couple of the English speaking ones. The first lie, which is probably the most common, is lying about your job, which is a tactic that has been seen many times across the different versions of the franchise. There are two layers to this one. There's lying about elements of your job and then lying about your whole profession. Canada's Season 1 had both of these examples. Mike, who was picked as a traitor, is a magician but didn't disclose that he is also a mentalist who had also trained military and agency personnel on how magic can be used to misdirect people. I mean, being a magician alone could have raised questions, but that part was the only known element. Travon, a faithful in that season, lied about his whole profession, initially telling everyone he was a barista when he really worked in PR. He didn't want the others to suspect him based on his job. He later revealed his lie a couple of episodes later, which led to some distrust of Travon throughout his time on the show. In Australia Season 2, Sam told everyone he worked on a farm when in fact he worked in sales and marketing. He gained a lot of trust amongst the faithfuls, which ended up being misguided for them. Season 4 of the Netherlands saw Tom lie about his profession on top of being a traitor, telling everyone he was a truck driver when in fact he was a policeman, while faithful Vincent was a teacher, but he didn't tell them he taught psychology. These are just a small sample of something that is a regular occurrence, especially if players are from certain professions. Those within law enforcement have seen a high amount of players choose not to reveal their jobs. I'm only skimming the surface of the players that have lied about their profession. So far in my quest to watch as many versions possible, it seems to be the most common lie. Some have come clean about their lie and others have continued throughout the whole game. Sometimes the reason for lying is to stop other players from thinking they are a traitor or the traitors murdering them. This was the case with Jackie in New Zealand Season 2, who recently passed away. She lied about being a clairvoyant to avoid being murdered by the traitors, as clairvoyants and psychics are a popular early victim of the traitors. They can also end up being accused of being traitors themselves. Either way, it's a choice to survive the game. One interesting lie was from Ritter in France's Season 1, where he lied to one player in particular. In the celebrity version, the YouTuber told another player he was a footballer for Real Madrid's B team, something that came up later in the season at the round table. There are advantages and disadvantages to lying about your profession. There's no denying that some people hold preconceived notions that if you're in a certain profession, then you will make an excellent traitor, regardless of whether you want to be one or not. It's one line that gets regurgitated all the time. I don't blame people for lying about their job purely based on that. If it's gonna prevent you from being banished or murdered, why not? People make quick judgments based on many factors, so why give them one that can be hidden? The player who I showed at the beginning of this video also lied about his profession in Quebec's first season, but Michel not telling people he worked in espionage would not be his only lie. Before I get to that, let's move on to a less popular lie. The lie that aims to give the players involved a better advantage. There have been many instances of people entering the game with pre-existing relationships in both the celebrity and general public versions. While they can't hide these relationships amongst the celebrities, the general public ones haven't necessarily had the desired outcome. UK Season 1 saw Alex and Tom, who were a couple, pretend they didn't know each other. No one had a clue until Tom blew up their whole game by declaring at breakfast that Alex was his girlfriend, a move that eventually saw Tom banished and Alex murdered a couple of episodes later. UK Season 2 saw production once again bring in two players with a pre-existing relationship with Diane and her son Ross, a secret that was kept to the end but was revealed to viewers after another player, Zach, thought Paul was actually Diane's son. As they couldn't resist the temptation, once more the UK had a pre-existing relationship in Season 3 with sisters Armani and Maya. They chose to tell everyone up front. Despite the honesty, there were heavy suspicions that one of them could be a traitor. I won't talk about UK Season 4, but we did see more than one pre-existing relationship, and in my opinion this element ended up being a weak part of the season. In Portugal's first season, it was revealed to viewers that Carla was in the game with her husband, but viewers didn't know who her husband was. In the lead up to the show, production apparently obscured Alvaro and Carla's background information so viewers would be less likely to connect them together. This was kept a secret from the other players but revealed to viewers during the show. In Canada's Season 2, siblings Nick and Kyra kept their secret for the whole game. Kyra was a traitor while Nick was a faithful. It seemed that regardless of Kyra's role in the game, Nick's aim was to help Kyra win. Some viewers have said that having two people with a pre-existing relationship is too much of an advantage, but as we see with some of the versions, including the celebrity ones, it isn't necessarily the case. It depends on how they're choosing to play the game. Do you tell the others you suspect your loved one of being a traitor because you can tell they're acting differently? Do you ignore that to make sure one of you wins? It's an interesting conundrum that adds another dimension to this game. France Season 1, Canada Season 2 and UK Season 3 are excellent examples of that conundrum. Before we go into the biggest but rarest lie I've seen so far, I just want to give a shout out to one absurd lie that came from UK Season 3.
I kind of thought that in the past there's only been one person from Wales, but this year Claudia's decided to bring two of us here, which is so nice. Although actually, it's a bit of a spanner in the works because I'm not actually from Wales. I'm from London, where I am born and bred. I've been putting on a Welsh accent because my mum's from Wales. It's one of the most trustworthy accents, so in a game where we need people to trust each other, I need an accent that people can trust.
I was so excited to find out that Charlotte is actually Welsh. It brought me a lot of comfort, you know?
This leads us into the biggest lie I've seen so far, which can be found in Quebec's first season. Here's your spoiler warning. Michel, a regular in lying as a profession due to working in espionage, carved a character for himself alongside being picked as a traitor. He told everyone that he would use the winnings to take his daughter, who has a disability, on a trip. A lovely reason for wanting to win the show behind the struggle of being a parent of a child with a physical condition. The only thing was that Michelle's daughter didn't have a physical condition. Michelle wanted to play against people's emotions and garner sympathy in order to progress in the game. Despite thinking Michelle was a traitor, one faithful was willing to strike a deal with Michelle to help get further in the game because of this. Another faithful didn't see him as genuine and questioned his story, dead certain that not only was Michelle a traitor, but that he was also lying about his daughter. Quebec had a reunion episode, so we were able to find out what everyone thought when they learned the truth about Michelle. While some didn't see an issue with Michelle's lie, the rest thought it was one step too far. This kind of lie is especially controversial as it involves exploiting personal and emotional areas for game advantage. It's a testament to how far some players are willing to go to win. Remember, these reality game shows are just that, games. While lying can be a strategic move, it's important to remember that there's a fine line that some are not willing to cross. This became very clear in the aftermath of US Season 3, where there were other players and viewers upset with how far Danielle took her lies by swearing on her family members' lives. I've previously said I'm not a fan of this, whether you're telling the truth or not, but it's not something I would get butthurt about like some people have. I would just reserve caution about you and wonder why you need to take it that far. For me, even though I would want to be as truthful as possible, if I was to lie, the only one I would consider lying about if there's someone on the show I had a pre-existing relationship with that was approved by production, of course. I'm not going to try and come up with some way to trick the producers. My job isn't something to lie about, so that wouldn't even be a consideration. Also, I couldn't do a Charlotte and fake an accent. I just couldn't consistently keep it up. I definitely wouldn't go as far as Michelle. That's something I just wouldn't personally do, and it's a step too far for me. What do you think? Would you go that far to lie about your health or the health of a loved one to emotionally manipulate in the Traitors? Or would you tell one of the other lies mentioned? Let me know in the comments. Until next time.